Have you ever noticed that right when you start moving towards something big, everything starts feeling like it's going the opposite direction? You start working out because you want to feel strong, and suddenly your body feels weaker than ever. You start learning something new because you want to become wiser, and suddenly you feel like the slowest person in the room. You start healing because you want peace, and suddenly all the pain you thought you buried start rising to the surface. You start investing in your future because you want abundance, and suddenly your bank account looks emptier than it did before. You finally face your fear because you want freedom, and instead of feeling brave, you feel terrified. And this is where most people quit. Not because they are weak, not because they are lazy, not because they are not chosen, aligned, spiritual, or capable enough. They quit because they misunderstand the feeling. They think the feeling of failure is the fact of failure. But what if that heavy, confused, broke, terrified feeling is not proof that you are lost? What if it is the first sign that you are finally arriving? There is a profound paradox at the heart of transformation. When you are working towards something big, do not be surprised when it feels like the exact opposite of what you're aiming for. If you're becoming stronger, you may first feel weaker. If you're becoming wiser, you may first feel confused. If you're becoming free, you may first see every place you are still chained. And if you're becoming your true self, do not be surprised when the false self starts shaking. Real growth does not always feel like elevation. Sometimes it feels like being stripped. Sometimes life removes what you thought you needed so you can become the person you were asking to be. Maybe the version of you that needs constant comfort cannot carry the mission. Maybe the version of you that needs everyone's approval cannot walk in truth. And maybe becoming the person you prayed to become sometimes feel like losing the person you used to be. The reason this feels so threatening is simple. Your mind is wired for survival before it is wired for transformation. Your ego wants to keep you safe. And to the ego, same usually means same habits, same identity, same limits, and same familiar pain. So when you start to grow, your ego sounds an alarm. It interprets the soreness of growth as injury, the confusion of learning as stupidity, the pain of healing as danger, and the discipline of building as loss. And because the feeling is convincing, you believe it. But feeling lost does not always mean you are lost. Feeling weak does not always mean you are weak. Feeling afraid does not always mean you are wrong. Sometimes fear is not intuition. Sometimes fear is just memory wearing a mask. Sometimes your nervous system is not saying this is wrong. Sometimes it is only saying this is unfamiliar. And that distinction can change your life. We have been sold two illusions. Hustle culture says growth should feel unstoppable. Shallow spirituality says alignment should feel effortless. But real transformation is not always comfortable. A seed does not become a tree by staying safe inside the shell. A human being does not awaken by protecting every illusion that kept them asleep. Different traditions have said this in different languages. The grain of wheat falls before it bears fruit. Hardship comes with ease, and the old self dies so the true self can be revealed. Transformation is not always pleasant, but when it is conscious, it becomes sacred. Think about the gym. You lift weights because you want strength, but during the workout, you do not feel strong. Your arms shake, your muscles burn, your body says stop. In that moment, you feel limited, but the limitation is the classroom. Your body becomes stronger because it was challenged, then given time to recover. The same thing happens with the mind. When you learn something new, Your mind feels slow. You make mistakes. You compare yourself to people who are already fluent. The ego hates this because the ego would rather feel smart in an old prison than feel clumsy in a new world. But feeling like a beginner is not proof that you are dumb. It is proof that your mind is building a bridge where there used to be no road. The better question is not, why am I so stupid? The better question is, am I stupid or am I just new? Real awakening does not always begin with knowing everything. Sometimes it begins when you finally admit, I do not know. That is humility, and humility is an empty cup. A full cup cannot receive. I remember when I was learning to code, before AI made everything easier. It humbled me. I would spend hours stuck on one tiny bug, a missing semicolon, a bracket in the wrong place, one small mistake that broke the whole thing. And every time I hit a new problem, I felt stupid, like I had learned nothing. 3 months in, 6 months in, even years later, one bug could still make me question myself. But that was the training. Every bug that made me feel defeated was teaching me how to think. Every problem that made me feel stupid was actually building the mind of a programmer. And that is the paradox. The thing that feels like proof you are not getting it may be the very thing that is teaching you how to master it. Healing often feels worse before it feels better because awareness returns before peace does. When you have been numb for years, feeling again can feel like danger. When you have avoided grief, truth, anger, shame, or fear, the moment those emotions rise, you may think something is wrong with me, but sometimes something is finally leaving you. It is like turning on the light in a messy room. For a moment, the room looks worse, but the mess was already there. The light did not create the mess. The light revealed it. That is healing. That is shadow work. That is what happens when the unconscious become conscious. What you refuse to face will run your life from behind the curtain. But once you see it, you can meet it, integrate it, and stop letting it control you. But we have to be mature here. Not all pain is growth. Abuse is not enlightenment. Burnout is not purpose. Chronic suffering is not spirituality. The body is not asking you to wash your pain. It is asking you to listen. There is a difference between discomfort that expands you and suffering that destroys you. There is a difference between the fire that refines you and the fire that consumes you. Wisdom is learning the difference. So do not turn this message into self-abuse. Sometimes suffering means you need rest. Sometimes anxiety means you need support. Sometimes exhaustion means your strategy is foolish. The truth is not push forever. The truth is train wisely. A muscle grows through stress plus recovery. A mind grows through challenge plus reflection. A soul grows through truth plus love. So what do we do with this? We change our relationship with the feeling. When you feel weak, you stop saying, I am weak. You say, my strength is being developed. When you feel confused, you stop saying, I am stupid. You say, my mind is expanding beyond what it used to know. When you feel emotionally messy, you stop saying, I am broken. You say, the light is finally revealing what was already in the room. When fear arises, do not immediately worship it as truth. Ask, is this harmful or is this just hard? Ask, is this my intuition or is this my fear of expansion? Ask, is life stopping me or strengthening me? Those questions are spiritual maturity. This applies to everything, especially entrepreneurship. If you are building a business, creating art, investing in yourself, changing your financial life, or stepping into a bigger assignment, the same paradox appears. Investing can make you feel broke. Building can make you feel behind. Starting can make you feel foolish. Serving a bigger vision can make your life feel smaller. Every builder knows there's a phase where the money goes out before the value comes back. where the skill is developing before the market rewards it, and where your future is being built quietly beneath the surface. Most people quit in that depth. They want the harvest, but they resent the planting season. They want the fruit, but they panic when the seed disappears underground. But the dip is where the foundation is built. You are paying the ignorance tax. You are becoming the kind of person who can hold what you asked for. This is not permission to be reckless. Do not confuse faith with financial stupidity. Run the numbers. Tell the truth. Build skill. Serve people. Create value. But do not assume that feeling stretched means you are failing. Sometimes it means your current identity is too small for your future assignment. The deeper truth is this: you are not your feelings. You are the awareness that can notice the feelings. You are not the fear. You are the one who can observe the fear. You are not the old story. You are the consciousness that can write a new one. This is what it means to remember who you are. Not spiritual arrogance. Not walking around saying, I am divine, so nothing can challenge me. That is ego wearing a cosmic costume. To remember who you are means you stop confusing yourself with every passing thought, fear, wound, craving, failure, or emotion. You are the awareness that can choose again. You are the creator, not just the creation. Your words create. Your habits create. Your attention creates. Your business creates impact. Your love creates safety. Creation is not only vision boards and manifestation rituals. Creation is what you repeatedly embody. And experience means you stop postponing your life until you are perfect. You practice freedom now. You practice love now. You practice truth now. The destination is a place where discomfort disappears. The destination is becoming someone who no longer needs discomfort to mean defeat. So the next time growth feels like the opposite of what you asked for, pause. Do not collapse. Do not dramatize. Do not immediately run back to the familiar cage. Weakness during training is not proof that you are weak. Confusion during learning is not proof that you are stupid. Fear during courage is not proof that you are cowardly. Emotional pain during healing is not proof that you are broken. Financial pressure during investment is not proof that you are doomed. It may simply mean you are crossing the threshold. The old self gets loud when it is losing power. The old identity panics when it is no longer in charge. The old pattern will call the new path dangerous because the old pattern only knows how to survive, not how to live. So let the false self shake. Let the old story complain. Let the ego throw its little tantrum. But you keep walking with wisdom, with love, with honesty, with breath, with God, with awareness, with your feet on the earth and your heart turned to truth. Because the opposite feeling is not always warning. Sometimes it is initiation. Sometimes the burn is strength arriving. Sometimes the confusion is intelligence expanding. Sometimes the fear is courage being born. Sometimes the breaking is the shell opening. And sometimes the thing you thought was proof you were failing was the first sign that you were finally becoming free. Remember who you are. Create from love and awareness. Experience the life you came here to live. And thank yourself later.